the night before the big game, and Luke was staring at his gear, frustrated. "I can't do this," he said, pacing back and forth. "Everyone's expecting me to win, but I'm not ready." His older brother, Matt, looked up from his book and said calmly, "Do you remember the first time you tried to ride a bike? You fell 10 times, but you didn't quit." Luke sighed. "This is different." Matt stood up, handed Luke his old baseball glove, and said, "The only difference is you believe the fear. You've already shown you can fight through it. Don't let doubt win now." Luke was quiet, but something in Matt's words sparked a new fire. The next day, in the middle of the game, Luke pushed past his fear and played with everything he had. And when the final whistle blew, they won. As they walked off the field together, Luke finally understood. Success isn't about being perfect, it's about refusing to quit. And with that, Luke realized, the biggest obstacle isn't the challenge in front of you, it's the doubt within you. Emma and Sam had been best friends since childhood, always supporting each other. One day, Emma hit rock bottom. She'd lost her job and felt like a failure. She sat on her couch, staring at her phone, tears rolling down her face. Sam called, "Get dressed, I'm outside." Reluctantly, Emma opened the door. Sam grinned and said, "We're going on a hike." Emma groaned, but Sam wouldn't take no for an answer. Halfway up the trail, Emma wanted to quit. "I can't do this, Sam, just go without me." But Sam knelt down and said, "Get on my back." "No way," Emma protested. Sam replied, "Friends don't leave friends behind." Laughing through her tears, Emma got on, and Sam carried her part of the way. At the top, Emma looked at the breathtaking view and said, "Thank you, I forgot how beautiful life could be." Sam smiled. "That's what friends are for, to lift you when you can't stand on your own." Remember, sometimes all someone needs is a little lift, literal or emotional, to see the beauty they've been missing.
Bella was skipping home from school when she spotted a wallet lying on the sidewalk. She picked it up and peeked inside. It was filled with cash and a few old photographs. Her first thought was excitement. This could buy her the art supplies she had been saving for. But then she saw a small note inside. "To my precious daughter, from Dad. Always keep this safe." Bella felt a pang in her chest. She knew how much this wallet must mean to someone. Instead of keeping it, she ran to the nearby bakery and asked the owner if they knew whose wallet it was. "That belongs to Mr. Patel, the shopkeeper next door," the baker exclaimed. Bella rushed to return it. Mr. Patel's face lit up with relief and gratitude. "Thank you, dear child," he said, handing her a small bag of cookies. Bella walked home with a warm heart, happier than she would have been with new art supplies. Moral: honesty is always rewarded. If you liked this video, please share and subscribe.
A soldier was sitting in his car in the parking lot of a food market when he noticed a little girl selling apples near the entrance. Moved by her situation, he approached her with a smile and bought a bag of apples. Concerned for her safety, he stayed close by to keep an eye on her. When the little girl sold all her apples, she entered the store. The soldier, curious, followed and watched as she spent all the money she had earned to buy food. Packing the groceries into a large bag, she ran outside toward the town's bridge. Intrigued, the soldier quietly followed. Under the bridge, he discovered a small community of homeless people. The girl entered a military-patterned tent, and the soldier decided to take a closer look. When he opened the tent, he was shocked to find the girl's father inside, a man with only one leg. To the soldier's disbelief, it was his former unit commander, a man he had assumed had died in a brutal battle during the war. Overcome with emotion, the soldier embraced the girl and her father. He brought them to his home, providing warm food, clothes, and shelter. As he prepared a cozy room for them, he turned to his former commander and said with gratitude, "You saved my life in the war, now I will save yours in peace." If you think the soldier did the right thing, drop a heart.
One day, a woman saw 3 men standing outside her house. She asked, "Are you hungry? Would you like to come inside? Is your husband home?" They replied, "He's not here yet." "Then we cannot enter," they said. Later that evening, when her husband returned, she told him about the 3 men. He suggested, "Go and tell them I'm home and invite them to come in." She did so, and the men told her, "We cannot all enter together." Confused, the woman asked, "Why not?" The first man replied, "I am wealth." The second said, "I am luck." The third man said, "I am love." "Now, go back to your husband and ask him which one he wants to invite into the house." She returned to her husband and shared the message. He said, "Invite wealth." The woman replied, "Let's invite luck." But their young son said, "Let's invite love, then our house will be full of love." The couple agreed, and the woman called for the man named Love. To her surprise, the other 2 men began walking toward the house as well. She asked, "I only invited Love. Why are you coming with him?" They answered, "Where there is love, there is always wealth and luck."
One day, a father gave his son a unique challenge: spend an entire day without technology, and savor the simple joys around him. If the son succeeded, he would earn a priceless family heirloom, his father's cherished watch, passed down for generations. Intrigued and eager, the son accepted. He spent the day walking through nature, playing with friends, and swimming in the river, discovering a new kind of happiness away from screens. What the son didn't realize was the challenge held deeper meaning. His father was battling a terminal illness. When the day ended, the son returned, proud of his success, only to find his father had passed away. Beside him lay a note: "My son, treasure life's little moments. Live each day as if it's your last, and you'll never face regret like I did." Overwhelmed with emotion, the son understood the powerful lesson: life moves swiftly, and the simplest moments are the most meaningful. Don't waste them. Live fully.
A young boy was constantly bullied by a rich girl in school. "Your clothes are so ugly," she'd shout, her laughter echoing through the room. The girl, always dressed in the finest clothes her wealthy parents could afford, mocked him relentlessly. "Do you even wash your clothes?" she jeered, making him cry as their classmates joined in the laughter. Years passed, and the boy endured her daily cruelty in silence, never telling his parents. He knew how hard they worked, struggling to make ends meet, and he didn't want to burden them. After graduating, the boy, now a man, thought he'd left those painful memories behind. One day, the girl, now grown, entered a clothing store and tried to pay, but her card was declined. Shocked, she called her father. "What's going on?" she demanded. "We're broke," he admitted tearfully. Forced to get a job, she worked tirelessly for weeks and finally saved enough to shop again. Returning to the store, she smirked when she saw the man behind the counter. "Hey loser, still can't afford decent clothes?" she sneered. The man burst into laughter, dropping to his knees. "Oh, I can now," he said, grinning. "I own this store. Now get out." Moral: life has a way of turning tables. Kindness always triumphs over cruelty.
One sunny afternoon, a group of kids Emma, Liam, and Mia were playing by the river when Emma spotted a smooth, glowing pebble shimmering in the water. Curious, she picked it up, and a warm voice spoke: "I'm the kindness pebble. Pass me to someone after doing a kind act, and you'll see magic happen." The kids were skeptical but decided to try it. Emma helped Mia tie her shoelace and handed her the pebble. Suddenly, flowers nearby began to bloom, spreading a sweet fragrance. Excited, Mia gave the pebble to Liam after sharing her snack. The pebble sparkled, and a rainbow appeared over the river. One by one, the kids kept performing small acts of kindness, and the world around them grew brighter and more colorful. By the end of the day, they realized the pebble's real magic: spreading kindness brought happiness to everyone, including themselves. With smiles on their faces, they placed the pebble back by the river, hoping others would find it and share its magic. Moral: kindness creates a ripple effect of happiness. If you like this video, please share and subscribe.
In a modest, cozy kitchen, a weary but warm-hearted mother stirs a simple meal while her young daughter, Lily, watches her closely, noticing the tiredness in her mother's eyes. Curious, Lily asks softly, "Mama, why don't we have fancy food like my friends?" The mother smiles gently, replying, "Oh, Lily, happiness isn't in fancy things, it's right here with you." Lily's face brightens, but her thoughts linger. As they sit together to eat, she whispers, "One day, Mama, I'll buy you all the food you want." The mother, touched, squeezes her hand, saying, "My sweet Lily, you already give me more than I could ever ask for. Your love fills me up in ways no feast ever could." Lily's eyes shine as she realizes her mother's words, and they share a warm smile, filling the room with their laughter. In that moment, they know that true wealth lies not in riches, but in the love they share.
"Your card is declined," the cashier told the grandpa who wanted to buy a cake. "It's for my sick grandson. He needs an expensive surgery. Please give me a cake. I will bring money after he gets better." The grandpa begged, "What does a cake have to do with surgery?" "Please leave, you are holding the line," the cashier rudely said. The grandpa left the store sad. He sat at the kitchen table thinking, "I can't afford the cake for his birthday. I don't have enough money for his surgery. Oh God, help." At that moment the doorbell rang. He opened the door and saw a woman who was behind him at the store. "You dropped your ID at the store." "Thank you. You are so kind," the grandpa replied. "I bought this cake for your grandson," said the lady. The grandpa was surprised. "Why, you don't remember me?" The grandpa was confused. "Many years ago when I was a kid, I was begging on the street with my mother to get money for her surgery." The grandpa's eyes filled with tears. "You approached us as a doctor and operated my mother for free, saving her life. Then she took out her hospital ID and said, 'I'm now a doctor and I will operate your grandson for free. Drop a heart if you're touched.'" Ethan, a rich kid with everything money can buy, But he felt very lonely. Ethan lived in a grand mansion with beautiful gardens, but he had no friends to share it with. One day, Ethan watched other kids playing in the park from his window. They were laughing and having fun. Ethan decided to go to the park. He took his favorite soccer ball. Hoping to join the game at the park, Ethan nervously approached the kid and asked if he could play with them. The kids welcomed Ethan warmly. They played together, laughed, and had a great time. Ethan realized that true friendship comes from sharing and being kind, not from having the best toys. Ethan learned that wealth isn't about what you have, but about the friendships you build. The moral of the story is that true wealth is found in meaningful relationships. If you agree, hit like and subscribe.
A young boy picked up a purse from a shop and started running. A woman came out and shouted, "Stop." Wait, but he didn't hear her. An older boy nearby noticed the woman waving and saw the boy running. He thought, that boy must be a thief, and decided to chase him. As he ran, he shouted, "Hey, catch that thief," and some other kids joined in the chase. One boy threw a shoe that hit the running boy, causing him to fall and twist his ankle. The police arrived, and as the boy cried in pain, the older boy said, "Quiet, thief." The officers asked what happened, and the group explained. The officers restrained the boy, just as the shop owner arrived, breathless and confused. "What's going on here?" she asked. "Ma'am, we caught the thief," the older boy said proudly. "Thief? That's my son," the woman exclaimed. "His dad forgot his wallet and car keys at the shop, so my son was rushing to take them to him." Moral: don't judge others based on appearances, seek the truth before taking action.
"Welcome, sir," the manager said, bowing as the poor-looking man sat down. "I want her to serve me," he told the manager. "Of course, sir." The manager replied. The girl, a waitress, took his order. 10 minutes later she returned. "Enjoy your meal, sir," she said kindly. As the man ate, he observed that many customers left her tips. When the man finished his meal, he reached for his pocket. "Lord, I forgot my wallet," the waitress thought. He was a hungry brokey. "I will pay." She smiled and took away his bill. The man was shocked. Later he said to the manager, "You need to add $20,000 bonus to her pay." The manager got mad. "She's just an ordinary waitress. She doesn't deserve that much." The waitress laughed. "Don't worry, sir. I'm just a waitress." The man asked the manager, "Your Mercedes-Benz car is over $140,000. How could you afford that?" "I deserve it as the manager. You're fired, and you'll repay all the tips you stole from her," the man said. "But I've worked here for 10 years, the manager shouted, turning to the girl. The man smiled. "You're the new manager starting tomorrow, but who are you, sir? I'm the owner of this restaurant, and I always reward good people. If she deserves it, then please like and subscribe to this video." A man bought a lottery ticket with his last $2. "I am rich," he shouted. When he saw he won $50 million rushing home, he showed the ticket to his wife. "You deserve it," she said, and hugged him, overwhelmed with joy. The man bought a luxurious house, his dream car, a Bugatti Veyron, and quit his job. "Are we going to see the world together?" his wife asked. He hesitated for a moment and said, "Honey, we'll go together next time." Week after week, he visited Bali, Paris, and Miami alone. Each night he posted pictures with women and other rich people. "Money is sweet. I can grant you any wish," he told every lady. One night his wife called. "Did you forget me? You're not my taste, so you're of no use to me." Next day, he filed for divorce. He lived his dream life. 2 years later, he checked his bank account. "Geez, I'm out of money. Lend me $1,000. His friends will reply, "Sorry, bro, fun." Women and friends all vanished. Desperate, he scrolled through his contacts and called his ex-wife. "I'm sorry, honey." The wife laughed and said, "Give money to someone, and you will see who they truly are. Get lost. Success without hard work doesn't last. If you agree, then like and subscribe."
In a grand mansion lived a boy named Samuel, who always wanted everything instantly. One day at school, the principal announced a race. Samuel was excited but wanted to win without effort. Samuel saw a girl named Lily practicing every day with determination and patience. Lily noticed Samuel watching and gave him some friendly advice about patience and practice. Inspired by Lily, Samuel decided to practice every day, learning patience along the way. On the day of the race, Samuel felt ready and confident thanks to his practice and patience. Samuel and Lily ran side by side, their hard work paying off as they led the race. Samuel realized that patience and practice helped him succeed, and he was grateful for Lily's advice. Samuel learned that patience wins the race and hard work always pays off.
A little boy went to school every day. When he had a lunch break, he always spent time with the school's policeman. "My birthday is coming soon and you are invited." "Thank you for the invitation, but I am working until the night every day," answered the policeman and asked the boy, "Are you going to call someone else?" "I have a lot of friends and they always say how much they like me." A few days before his birthday, the boy gave the invitation cards to all his friends, and then he gave one invitation card to the policeman. The boy's birthday came, he helped his mother clean the house, make a cake, and then together they waited for his friends. Time passed, but no one came. "Why didn't anyone come to my birthday?" the boy asked his mother as his eyes were full of tears. The boy and his mother started celebrating the boy's birthday by themselves, and at one point, he heard fireworks outside. The boy ran outside and saw the policeman with a cake and a huge present. "You didn't forget about me," shouted the boy happily. The policeman then answered with a smile, "It's always better to have one true friend than a lot of fake friends. Happy birthday."
A little girl told her father-dad one day, "I'll make you proud, of course, my dear, bless you." He replied. The girl grew up and worked very hard, day and night. One day her phone rang. "Hello, Lucy, it's your dad," said the voice. "Hi, Dad, how are you?" "I'm fine. When will you come and see me, Lucy?" he asked soon, Dad. "But things are tough right now." She replied, "All right, bless you, my dear, another day." Her dad called again. "Lucy, I hope you're well." "I'm fine, Dad," she replied. "Will I see you anytime soon?" "Very soon, Dad, I'll make you proud." She said, "Bless you, my dear," he replied. Finally, she became successful. "Yes, I'll give Dad everything he wants." She thought. The next day, her phone rang again. "Hello, miss." "Lucy," said the voice, "your dad has been in the hospital for a year now. He has a serious illness and only a few days left." She rushed to the hospital and found him lying ill. "Please don't leave, Dad," she said. "I'll give you everything, my dear daughter." "Seeing your face is all I ever wanted," he said, "in your pursuit of success. Never abandon your dad."
Sarah had been working long shifts for weeks, looking forward to her one day off to rest and recharge. But as morning came, her little boy, Jamie, bounded into her room with bright eyes and a hopeful grin. "Mom, can we spend the whole day together?" She glanced at her bed, which had been calling her name, and then back at Jamie's excited face. "Of course, sweetheart," she replied, setting aside her exhaustion. They spent the day at the park, playing hide and seek, swinging, and sharing ice cream. Sarah laughed as she chased him, cheering him on as he climbed the slide, her heart full even as her body ached. Jamie never noticed her quiet yawns or the way she paused to catch her breath. Later that evening, as Sarah tucked him into bed, Jamie wrapped his arms around her and whispered, "Mom, thanks for today. You always make time for me." Her tired heart melted. "I always will, Jamie." Love sometimes means putting others before yourself. Years later, Jamie would remember that day and her quiet sacrifices. It shaped his understanding of love and selflessness, a lesson that would stay with him forever. For Sarah, that day reminded her of why she kept going, day after day, even when rest seemed impossible. Her son's joy was worth every sacrifice. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
A wealthy man had a son and a daughter. Every day he comes home, the daughter quickly hugs him. But he would buy a gift for his son, who would take the gift and walk away, while the daughter gets none. The son was to inherit his company, so he wanted to do everything to make him happy. The daughter always felt unloved and sad. One day the man was eating with his son and told the daughter to go eat with the mom. Suddenly he started to choke and gasp. The son was busy on his phone and didn't notice the daughter quickly rushed in and rescued her dad. He hugged her, but nothing changed. Time passed, the daughter was fed up and moved far away. She started afresh away from her family. Years went by. One day she heard a knock on her door. It was her father. She hadn't seen his face for 10 years. He had aged so much and wasn't looking strong. She quickly turned away. She couldn't hold back her tears and said, "Please leave with tears," he said, "daughter. I don't deserve your forgiveness. Your brother is no more, and I have cancer and a month to live. Please come back and rescue our company." She hugged her dad tightly and said, "I forgive you, Dad, but I found peace now." She shut the door behind and began to cry. A firefighter approached his chief. "You have a visitor. I don't have time for visitors." The chief replied angrily. "You will be glad to see this one," the firefighter said, annoyed. The chief came out of his office and approached the visitor. The visitor was a girl around 20 years old. "Today is my birthday," she said, confused. The chief replied, "Happy birthday to you." Then he looked around and found a candy bar on the table. "And this is your present." "You don't remember me?" the girl asked. The chief was more confused. He looked at his firefighters and then back to the girl. "I don't, sorry." The girl then took out a firefighter badge from her pocket and her eyes filled with tears. "Wow, you've grown up. I always wondered what happened to you," the chief said, and hugged the girl. The girl said, 15 years ago, on this day was my birthday party. Our house was on fire and you came and saved my life." The chief began to cry. The girl said, "Sir, you gave me a second chance that day, and today I'm here to ask for a job at the fire department so I can give someone else a second chance too." Leave a heart if she did the right thing. If you are touched, then drop a heart in comment. A lady was entering a train with her 2 kids and making a call. The doors closed and the train moved suddenly. She realized she had forgotten her little baby in a stroller outside. A woman saw what happened and smiled as she walked towards the baby. Suddenly, a homeless man sitting by quickly took the baby to wait for the mom. The woman was angry and cried, "Help, this man has kidnapped my baby," when people gathered. They saw the homeless man tightly holding onto the baby. I was on a call. When I realized he had kidnapped my baby, the woman cried. Everyone looked at the homeless man in disbelief. He couldn't say anything as tears flowed down his face. "Hey, why aren't you talking?" one yelled. "I never knew you were like this. I give money to you every day I pass by," cried another. Soon the cops arrived at the scene. "This is not your child, right?" the officer asked the homeless man. "No, but it's not hers either," he yelled, and the real mother came running. The homeless man quickly gave the baby back to her mom. "Thank God," she cried. Everyone was shocked to see the other woman running away. The cops then chased after her and caught it. Then everyone applauded and contributed money for the homeless man.
I was walking home after a long night of trick-or-treating when I found a strange-looking pumpkin on the ground. It wasn't carved like the others, and it had a weird glow. Curious, I picked it up and ran home to show my friends. But when they saw it, they just laughed. "That's so ugly," they said. "No one would even put that on their porch." I felt embarrassed, but my dad overheard us and said, "Take it to the old pumpkin patch at the edge of town and see what happens." I didn't understand, but I listened. I went to the pumpkin patch and placed the glowing pumpkin on the ground. Suddenly, the whole field started to light up, and all the pumpkins around me began to sparkle. Then a mysterious figure appeared and said, "This pumpkin is special. Only those who believe in its magic can unlock its true power. Your friends couldn't see it, but you did." I ran back to my friends and told them what happened, but they still didn't believe me. They laughed even more that night, though. When I went back to the pumpkin patch, the pumpkins had turned into golden statues, and the figure reappeared. "Remember," he said, "sometimes the most valuable things are the ones others can't see. Keep believing in your magic even when others don't. And if you agree, subscribe."
A tired, poor old man was riding his bike when he closed his eyes for just a bit. Suddenly, he heard a bump opening his eyes. He saw a luxury car in front of him. The rich man furiously got out of the car. "What did you just do, tissing the damage on the bumper?" The old man apologized, trying to fix the bumper with his hands. "I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'll pay," he said, and then reached for his wallet, but his eyes filled with tears, seeing only $5. "I'll earn the money and pay you." "I promise," he said. Angry, the rich man opened his car trunk and pulled out a baseball bat. "Please don't hurt me." The old man dropped his wallet from fear and closed his eyes, but the rich man hit his own car, causing even more damage. "Don't be afraid, it's just a car, I don't care," he said, smiling. The rich man then picked up the old man's wallet and tears filled his eyes. Inside the wallet was a picture of himself as a child. "Father," he whispered. Shocked, the old man replied, "Impossible, son. They took you away from me when you were a kid. I was too poor to do anything. But I always had faith we'd meet again." The rich man replied, "Fate has brought us together again." If you are touched, please drop a heart in comment and like and subscribe.
A man entered a store to buy his little daughter a toy car. He found the toy car and went to the cashier to pay for it when suddenly he saw a 6-year-old boy holding a teddy bear talking to the cashier. "I'm sorry, kid, but you don't have enough money." The boy became sad and turned around to the man asking, "Sir, can you tell me if I don't have enough money?" The man counted the boy's money and said, "I am sorry, but the cashier is right. You don't have enough money." The boy was still holding the teddy bear. The man saw that the little boy was sad and asked, "Do you really need this teddy bear?" "Yes, it's my sister's birthday," said the boy with a smile. The man then said, "That's great. You were going to gift it to your sister?" "Yes," replied the little boy. The man then bought the teddy bear for him and asked, "Your sister is going to be so happy when you give this to her." The little boy then noticed that the man had no money left and asked, "What did you want to buy?" The man then replied, "I wanted to buy that toy car for my daughter." The little boy looked at that car and told the man, "Wait for me. I will be back soon." The little boy then came back with the same car and said, "My parents gifted me this car for my birthday, and now I want to gift it to you."
A lady and her baby were stuck in a burning building. There was no way out. She looks down from the window, kissed her daughter, and throws her down. "My love, please live." Then she passed out. A man who saw everything took the child and raised her as his own daughter. Many years passed. The man worked as a security, while his foster daughter worked as a chef in the cafeteria of the same company. One day, the girl slept off while at work. She woke up realizing she was late for delivery. She rushed out quickly and bumped into the boss, spilling the food on her dress. The boss assistant yelled at her and grabbed her. "You filthy thing, you want to rot in jail." Suddenly, the boss noticed a birthmark on the girl's ear. It was exactly the same on her daughter. "She lost 20 years ago." She froze and slowly muttered, "Amelia, Amelia," with tears. She started to explain everything to her. The girl cried and shouted, "Don't touch me. You can't be my mother. If you were, you'd never abandon me." Then she ran away. Getting home that night, she walked up to her father. "I met my mom today." "What, so you're leaving me for her?" "Dad, stop crying. I understand why you lied about her. I'm glad I found her. But Dad, you're still my favorite. Your mom loves you. Forgive her." There was a girl whose dad always worked and never had time for her. And her mom was very sick in the hospital. With time, they started to go poor months later. Her mom passed away and the dad went bankrupt. The dad searched hard for a job one day. The girl saw a beautiful dress in the dad's luggage, believing it was her mom's. She cut it to her size and wore it to surprise her dad, but he furiously scolded her a few days after the dad disappeared without leaving a note. Years passed. On her wedding day, a homeless man approached her for a hug, but she pushed him away and called security. The man shouted, "It's me, your dad." She even got more mad. While he was dragged away, he dropped a letter on the floor. "Jane, my love, I can't believe how much you've grown now. Sorry, Daddy wasn't there for you all these years. Remember that dress I scolded you for? It was for my boss's wife, and it cost $10,000. Sadly, I was put in jail for 10 years because of it. Dad still loves you." When she learned the dad had spent all his money on her mom's hospital bill, she cried bitterly and rushed and took her father's hand, asking him to walk her down the aisle. If you are touched, then drop a heart in comments.
A boy was chased by the police. He ran very quickly into their house. His older brother saw him, his shirt and hands stained with blood. He was shocked. His brother was shaking in fear and could not speak. The older brother looked down from the window and sees a fleet of police cars, their sirens blowing. "We're giving you 5 minutes to surrender," said the voice. He told his younger brother, "Give me your shirt. I need to wash off the bloodstains." A few minutes later, the younger brother heard their back door slam. He looked and saw his older brother walking towards the police wearing his shirt with hands in the air. He screamed with tears, "What you doing, no, brother? No." They took him away. Days passed. It was his trial. His younger brother sat in the courtroom, tear-filled eyes, watching his older brother being sentenced for life for the crime he knew nothing about. He couldn't hold himself. He ran to the judge and screamed, "It was me. Please leave my brother. He's innocent." Tears in his eyes. Then suddenly the police rushed in and showed a CCTV footage proving the boy's innocence. The real culprit had been caught. "Why did you do that?" he asked his older brother. He replied, "I'm your big brother. I'll give my life for you." If you are touched, then please drop a heart in comment and like and subscribe.
Once upon a time, there was a brave soldier named Jack. Every time he went on duty, his little daughter, Maya, would hug him tightly and whisper, "Come back safe, Daddy." Jack would smile and say, "I'll be back, my little hero. Promise." One day, Jack had to leave for a long mission. Maya missed him terribly. Every night, she'd look up at the stars and imagine her dad looking at the same sky. She'd say, "Good night, Daddy. Be strong." Months passed, and finally, Jack came home. When he stepped through the door, Maya ran to him with tears in her eyes. "Daddy, you kept your promise." Jack knelt down, hugging her tightly, and whispered, "Because I had a little hero waiting for me."
A woman made bread every day, but no one bought the bread. One day, an old lady came and said, "I don't have any money." "It's okay, you can have it for free." The woman replied. The old lady took the bread and said, "Thank you." The next day she came again and said, "I don't have any money." "It's okay, it's free for you." The woman said again. The old lady took the bread and said, "Thank you." This continued for weeks, and the woman had enough. She decided to poison the bread. She made the dough and added poison. The old lady came again, and the woman gave it to the old lady. "Just take it," shouted the woman. The old lady walked back to her house when suddenly she saw a bear attacking a little girl. She took a stone and threw it at the bear. She then came to the little girl and said, "You must be hungry. Take this, thank you," replied the little girl, and the old lady left the little girl, then ate the bread at night. The woman noticed that her little daughter was missing. She went to look for her and found her lying under a tree holding the poisoned loaf of bread she gave to the old lady. A rich father had a son. One day they were walking and looking at expensive cars. "This car is beautiful," said the son. The father then remembered his son was graduating from high school in a week, and a week later the son graduated and thought that his father would get him that car. They saw before his father then brought a small box. "I am so proud of you, son," said the father, handing him the box. The son opened the box and saw that inside there was a teddy bear and a note. The son became angry. He closed the box and screamed with anger, "A teddy bear? You have so much money, and this is what you get me." The son then packed his stuff and left the house without listening to what his father was trying to tell him. After years, the son became even more rich than his dad. But one evening he got a phone call. "Your father fainted and is in the hospital." The son quickly rushed to the hospital, and he saw that his father became very old. "Son, you bring me some clothes from the house?" asked the father. Yes, of course. He entered the house and saw the box his father gave him years ago. So he decided to open the box. He looked at the teddy bear and then took the note and read it in the note. It said, "I am so proud of you, son." Inside the teddy bear, "You will find the keys to the car." When he came back to the hospital, he just hugged his father and said, "I love you, Dad. I'm sorry, I judged you too quickly." A little boy stole food from a lady's bag and started to eat hurriedly. She was busy on a call. When she realized it, she quickly pushed the boy away. "Get your filthy little hands off my food." Then she took the one he had already bitten and threw it in the bin. The little boy's mom grabbed her son and apologized, saying they were homeless and he was starving. She didn't care and walked to her car. Before she drove away, her daughter in the back seat secretly dropped one bag of food for the poor family. They waved in thanks. One day while picking her daughter from school, two strange men quick ambushed her. They pointed knives at her and snatched her phone before she could even make a call. She screamed for help, but there was no one in sight. They threatened to kill her if she screams again. Then they kidnapped her daughter and put her in the car. Suddenly, the police arrived, blocked and arrested the kidnappers. She was shocked because she hadn't called any police and no one was close by. Then she sees the homeless boy and his mom hugging her daughter at the corner. Turns out they had secretly seen the incident and quickly alerted the police. Your help may come from unexpected people. Always be kind. If you are touched, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
This poor girl was selling burger buns on the street when a boy approached her and said he was hungry. The girl asked him for money, but the boy replied that he had no money. The girl gave him a bun for free. A man sitting in a car was seeing everything. After the boy left, another little boy came to the girl asking for a bun. The girl gave him a bun, but he also left without paying. Then a final poor boy came to take a bun, and she gave it to him for free as well. Now the girl had no buns left to sell and no money, so she became very sad. Just then, a woman came by, but she left without helping the little girl. However, the rich man in the car, seeing the girl in trouble, took some money out of his car and put it in the girl's tray of buns. The girl was very happy to see the money and thanked God. This rich man definitely deserves a like and a subscribe.
A boy and his dog were walking in the forest together with a man. At one point, the boy fell into a hole and began to dream. The boy found himself in front of a golden gate. "Help me," he screamed. A mysterious man appeared in front of the boy. "Don't be afraid," he said. "What is this place?" "This is heaven." The boy entered heaven with a mysterious man and saw a big white house. Inside the house, he saw a lot of happy people smiling and eating in front of a huge table. "I am hungry," the boy said. "Take something to eat." The boy took some food and ate near the table. And at one moment, he saw his dog. The boy ran to the dog and hugged him. "My friend, you are also here." The boy was happy and gave food to the dog. He looked at the mysterious man and asked, "How did I end up here?" "When you were walking in the forest, the man pushed you into a hole and you fell and got hurt badly." The boy was shocked. "But how did my dog end up here?" "The dog tried to help you. He jumped into the hole and injured himself, trying to save you." The boy, in tears, hugged his dog again, and the mysterious man told him a real friend will never leave you behind.
One day a famous painter placed his painting on a busy intersection with a note written below. "Whoever finds any mistake in this painting should put a mark on that place." In the evening he checked the painting and became sad as there were hundreds of marks on his painting. Seeing this, he got very disappointed and silently picked up his painting and went home. This incident negatively impacted him, and he stopped painting. His mother was heartbroken when she saw him still suffering months later, so she said, "Let's do one thing. You put again a painting at that intersection, but this time with a different note." Painter agreed. The next morning he put a new painting at the intersection with a note written below it. "Whoever finds any mistake in the painting, correct it." In the evening when the painter and his mother went to check the painting, it was still the same as it was in the morning. Painter was surprised to see this. His mother noticed his surprise and said, "Do you understand something? Any fool can find mistakes and most fools do. But there are very few people who can correct those mistakes. There is no point in unnecessarily taking the opinion of people who only want to find fault with others and humiliate them when they neither have time nor knowledge to improve themselves."
A boy called Alex went to see the priest because he felt desperate and misunderstood. His parents no longer believed him and blamed him for everything that had gone wrong, although this time he was innocent. As Alex explained his situation to the priest, his mind went back to what had happened. Alex remembered hiding his school grades, only for his mother to find them in the rubbish. He remembered begging his parents to let him go to a friend's house to study for an important project, despite being grounded, only to be caught at the skate park instead. He remembered the sadness in his parents' eyes when they saw him there, and the times he had stolen money from their pockets. The flashbacks ended and Alex pleaded to the priest, "Yes, I lied to them before, but what they're accusing me of now isn't true. If I'm telling the truth, why don't they believe me?" The priest looked at Alex and replied, "Trust is like a delicate flower. Every lie damages it until it's completely destroyed. When that happens, you have to be willing to invest time and love to make it bloom again. It doesn't happen overnight." Alex understood then that it was up to him to rebuild trust with his parents. He realized that it would take time, love and understanding to help that delicate flower of trust grow again.
Once there were two dogs, Bailey and Max. One sunny afternoon both wandered into a mysterious room at different times. When Bailey emerged from the room, his tail was wagging faster than ever, and he had a big smile on his face. But when Max trudged out, he seemed even grumpier than before, with a deep growl rumbling in his throat. Watching from afar, a kind lady noticed the stark difference in their moods and decided to investigate. Stepping into the peculiar room, she was met with an astonishing sight. It was filled with thousands of mirrors stretching from floor to ceiling. As Bailey had entered the room with happiness in his heart, he saw countless reflections of happy wagging-tailed dogs just like him, filling every mirror. But poor Max, who had already been feeling grumpy, saw nothing but stern-faced, growling dogs glaring back at him from every angle. Deep in thought, the lady realized that the way we feel inside can color the way we see the world around us.
Kid, enjoying his carefree youth, intentionally left several bags of trash on a busy sidewalk. Throughout the day, various pedestrians navigated this unexpected obstacle. Elderly folks, affluent individuals in designer attire, and even a group of muscular bodybuilders all encountered the rubbish. Each of them simply walked around the mess, stepping onto the street to avoid it, muttering under their breath about the state of the city, yet doing nothing to rectify the situation. A homeless man approached with his life's possessions neatly arranged in a worn-out shopping trolley. Unlike the others, he stopped when he reached the bags of trash. He parked his trolley to the side and with quiet resolve, began moving the bags one by one to a nearby trash container, clearing the sidewalk for everyone who would follow. The kid, who had been watching from a distance, started to laugh at his efforts, finding amusement in his task, but after a few seconds he watched with a growing sense of understanding. This child saw the man's actions not as a source of mockery, but as a profound lesson in responsibility and kindness. While others had passed by the problem, leaving it for someone else to solve, this man took it upon himself to improve the situation for everyone.
In a peaceful bamboo forest, a playful panda named Pao loved munching on bamboo and rolling around. But one day, while exploring a hidden part of the forest, Pao stumbled upon an ancient glowing stone buried under a tree. Curiosity got the best of him, and he touched the stone. Suddenly, the ground beneath Pao started to shake, and the stone opened a secret path. Nervous but excited, Pao waddled down the path, only to find an old scroll with strange symbols. As he read it, Pao realized he was the guardian of a long-lost treasure that could protect the forest from danger. Just as Pao began to understand his destiny, a shadow loomed behind him, a mysterious figure watching, waiting for the treasure. It wasn't an enemy. It was Pao's best friend, May, who had secretly been guarding the treasure all along.
In the jungle, far and wide, a little cub with heart and pride found a secret in the trees, a golden flower swaying in the breeze. Oh, Leo's brave, he's on his way, with courage bright, he'll save the day. A lion's roar, a bond so true, the jungle sings for me and you.
Every day, a little boy sat alone on a bench near the police station, his eyes scanning the street as if waiting for something, someone. One day, a policeman noticed the boy and asked, "Who are you waiting for?" The boy's voice was soft but filled with hope. "I'm waiting for my dad to come home." The policeman watched as the days passed, and the boy continued to sit on that same bench, unwavering. The next day, the officer asked, "When will your dad be back?" "Soon," the boy replied, a slight smile on his face. As the seasons changed, winter arrived, but the boy still came, day after day. Then one evening, the officer saw the boy crying. He rushed over and asked, "Are you okay? Is your dad coming home?" Tears filled the boy's eyes as he whispered, "A year ago, my dad went to war and never came back. He promised me he would return here. I know he won't, but I come every day, hoping to see him again. That hope keeps me going." The policeman stood there, struck by the boy's unwavering faith, even in the face of heartbreaking loss.
Late one night, in a bustling city, a young man named Karen found an old, locked shop glowing faintly from within. Curious, he peered through the dusty window to see an elderly watchmaker tinkering with an intricate timepiece. The next day, he returned to find the shop bustling with people marveling at the exquisite clocks inside. Intrigued, Karen asked the watchmaker, "You've never advertised or displayed anything before. How is everyone here now?" The old man smiled and replied, "For years, I worked quietly, perfecting my craft. I knew one day, someone would notice its worth. It's not about running after the world, my boy, it's about creating something so exceptional that the world can't ignore it." The lesson lingered with Karen: value doesn't chase attention, it commands it.
A wise monk once lived at the edge of a noisy village. One day, a man came to him, shouting insults and demanding a debate. The monk, calm as ever, simply smiled and said nothing. Frustrated, the man shouted louder, trying to provoke him, but the monk remained silent. After exhausting himself, the man finally stormed off. A curious villager who witnessed the scene asked, "Why didn't you defend yourself?" "He insulted you in front of everyone," the monk replied. "If someone offers you a gift, and you do not accept it, to whom does it belong?" The villager thought for a moment and said, "To the one who offered it." The monk nodded and said, "Exactly. His words were his gift, and I chose not to accept them. By staying silent, I kept my peace," and he left with his anger. The villager smiled, realizing that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Moral: silence is not weakness, it is wisdom and strength. It keeps your peace and defeats a fool without a fight.
A wise teacher once gave her students a simple challenge: hold a glass of water outstretched. At first, it seemed easy, but minutes passed, and their arms began to shake. "The longer you hold on," she said, "the heavier it feels." Life's desires and suspicions are just like that glass. They demand our focus, make us restless, and weigh us down. One student asked, "How do we let go?" The teacher smiled. "Through patience and faith. Patience teaches you to endure, and faith reminds you the weight isn't yours to carry alone." In life, the storms will test you, doubts will creep in, and desires will tempt you to act impulsively. But if you trust the process and stay steady, you'll find the strength to move forward without breaking. Remember, sometimes, the greatest victories come not from action but from learning to wait with trust in your heart. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe. In a busy town, two neighbors, Sarah and Emily, lived next to each other. Sarah was a successful baker, known for her delicious pastries, while Emily struggled to make her mark with her own bakery. Over time, Emily became jealous of Sarah's success and the attention she received. One evening, Emily decided to steal Sarah's secret recipe to gain the same recognition. But as she tried to replicate Sarah's pastries, she realized something: no matter how hard she tried, her own creations lacked the passion and care that Sarah put into hers. Emily learned that jealousy eats away at creativity and character, and instead of focusing on others, true growth comes from nurturing one's own talents. From then on, Emily worked on her craft with sincerity, gaining respect and success on her own terms, no longer consumed by jealousy. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
In a bustling town, Samuel was a humble yet honest carpenter, admired for his unwavering integrity. One day, a wealthy trader approached him with a tempting offer: forge a fake signature on a business deal, and Samuel would receive a fortune that could transform his family's life. Samuel paused, imagining the comforts he could finally provide for his children. But as he watched his kids playing joyfully, he thought about the legacy he wanted to leave behind. Resolute, Samuel refused the offer, saying, "I'd rather my children inherit my honesty than riches tainted with dishonor." The trader scoffed, but Samuel's decision remained firm. Years later, Samuel's exceptional craftsmanship and reputation earned him not just wealth but deep admiration and trust from his community. His children grew up inspired by his values, proud of a father who taught them the greatest lesson of all: wealth gained without honor is an empty treasure. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
There was once a skilled sailor named Liam, known for navigating dangerous seas with precision. One calm afternoon, while docking his ship, he made a small mistake. A rope was not properly secured. The ship shifted slightly, causing no harm, but Liam stopped everything to reflect. His crew laughed, dismissing it as trivial, but Liam replied, "A wise man takes a lesson even from a minor lapse. Ignoring small mistakes can lead to bigger problems." He corrected the issue and ensured every rope was secured. From that day, Liam became even more meticulous, teaching his crew to value attention to detail. His discipline paid off, as his ship and crew avoided countless dangers that others faced due to negligence. Liam's ability to learn from even small missteps made him a master of his craft, respected by all. This story teaches us that wisdom lies in seeing every mistake, no matter how minor, as an opportunity to grow and excel. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment and like, and subscribe.
A proud lion, the self-proclaimed king of the jungle, boasted of his unmatched strength and power. He often roared to announce his dominance, causing the smaller animals to scatter in fear. One day, a powerful windstorm swept through the savanna. The lion, believing he could conquer anything, stood tall against the gale, roaring defiantly. But the wind grew stronger, toppling trees and pushing even the mighty lion off his feet. Exhausted and humbled, the lion sought shelter under a small rock, the same one he had once mocked for being insignificant. As the storm passed, the lion realized a profound truth: even the strongest need help, and no one is invincible. From that day on, the lion became a protector of all creatures, understanding that true strength lies in humility and wisdom, not just physical power. Moral: strength is not just about power, it's about knowing when to stand tall and when to seek shelter. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment, and like and subscribe.
There was once a young man named Alex, who worked in a bustling city. He was known for his sharp skills, but he often overlooked the importance of kindness. One day, while rushing through the crowded streets, he noticed an elderly woman struggling with her bags. Without thinking, Alex quickly helped her, offering a kind smile. The woman, grateful for his gesture, thanked him and shared that she owned a successful business and was looking for someone with his talents. Alex, initially stunned by the encounter, later realized that the simple act of courtesy had opened a door to a life-changing opportunity. That moment taught him that courtesy costs nothing but can buy everything: respect, trust, and even success. From that day forward, Alex made it a habit to treat everyone with kindness, knowing that sometimes the smallest gestures can lead to the greatest rewards. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
Evan, a skilled craftsman, was celebrated for his breathtaking, intricate jewelry designs. His brilliance stemmed from a secret technique taught by his mentor, one that no one else could replicate. One day, a wealthy admirer approached him, offering a fortune for his secret. Tempted by the flattery and the riches, Evan hesitated but recalled his mentor's wise words: "Guard well your secret, for it is the key to your success." With a polite smile, he declined the offer, choosing to protect the knowledge that defined his craft. Over the years, Evan's decision proved wise. His reputation as an unmatched artisan grew, and his legacy became one of brilliance, respect, and mystery. This story teaches us that while trust and sharing have their place, certain things, our unique gifts and hard-earned knowledge, are best guarded closely, for they hold the power to define our success and sustain our greatness. If you agree, then drop a heart and comment, and like and subscribe.
In a small village, there lived a hard-working farmer named Thomas. He spent long hours under the sun, tending to his crops with dedication, knowing that the fruits of his labor, though modest, were earned honestly. One day, a neighbor came to him, boasting about a large sum of money he had earned through shortcuts and deceit. Thomas listened patiently but continued with his work. Over the years, while the neighbor's wealth brought temporary satisfaction, it was never stable, and he faced constant worry. On the other hand, Thomas, though not wealthy, lived with peace of mind, and his humble farm prospered slowly but steadily. He understood that the value of hard work and integrity far outweighs any ill-gotten gain. In the end, Thomas's honest labor brought him not just prosperity, but true contentment, proving that a little earned through honesty is far better than a fortune gained dishonestly. If you are touched, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe. Words have the power to wound more deeply than any physical weapon. Mark learned this the hard way. As a manager, he often spoke his mind, but one day, in frustration, he snapped at his team member, Jake, with a harsh criticism. Though it was brief, the words lingered with Jake, piercing deeper than any cut could. For days, Jake struggled with self-doubt, feeling the sting of Mark's words. The tongue pierces deeper than the spear, Mark realized, seeing the effect his words had on Jake. One evening, Mark noticed Jake's change in behavior and understood the impact of his own words. He approached Jake and apologized, acknowledging that while a spear might leave a scar, a cruel remark could leave a wound in the heart. Mark learned that words, once spoken, can't be taken back. They can build up or tear down, and it's our responsibility to choose them carefully. This moment became a turning point for Mark, as he promised to speak with more kindness, knowing that the tongue truly pierces deeper than the spear. If you are touched, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
In a small village, there lived a farmer named Liam, known for his unwavering faith. One year, a devastating drought threatened his crops. While others gave up, Liam kept tending to his fields, believing rain would come. His neighbors mocked him, saying, "Why waste your time? The rain isn't coming." But Liam replied, "Patience is the fruit of faith. I trust that my efforts will bear fruit in due time." Weeks passed, and the skies remained clear. Yet Liam kept working with hope in his heart. One night, dark clouds gathered, and a downpour followed. His crops thrived, while the others' fields lay barren. Liam's patience, born of faith, had been rewarded. This story teaches us that faith isn't just believing, it's waiting with hope and persistence, trusting that the best is yet to come. If you are touched, then drop a heart and comment and like and subscribe.
David was a young man known for his talent but crippled by self-doubt. Every time he faced an important challenge, be it a presentation, an interview, or even voicing his opinion, fear would paralyze him. One day, as he prepared for the biggest presentation of his life, his grandmother noticed his anxiety. She took his hand and said, "David, why do you fear people who are just like you? Fear God instead, for he is the one who holds your future. If your trust is in him, no one can intimidate you." Her words lingered in his mind as he walked into the boardroom. Before stepping in, he whispered a simple prayer, "God, you are with me. Help me do my best." Suddenly, a wave of calm washed over him. Standing before the crowd, he spoke with clarity and conviction, no longer shackled by fear of their judgment. In that moment, David realized the truth: when you fear God, revering his power and trusting his plan, you have no cause to fear anyone else. That day, David not only succeeded in his presentation but also overcame the chains of human approval, walking boldly in the confidence that comes from trusting God. If you are touched, then drop a heart in comment and like and subscribe.
One sunny afternoon, Ryan played at the park, excited about his brand new sneakers. His old, scuffed shoes sat forgotten under a bench, abandoned without a second thought. Weeks passed, and on another trip to the park, Ryan saw something that stopped him in his tracks: a young homeless boy running joyfully through the grass, wearing those same old shoes. The boy's face lit up with pure happiness as he chased after a makeshift soccer ball. Ryan felt a pang of guilt and realization. The shoes he had discarded so easily had become someone else's treasure, bringing comfort and joy to a boy who had so little. In that moment, Ryan learned an important lesson: what we take for granted might be someone else's lifeline. From then on, he vowed to be more mindful and grateful for what he had and to give generously when he could. If you are touched, then drop a heart in comment and like and subscribe.
There was once a small, scrappy dog who lived near a mountain. Every day, he'd watch the birds soar above it. One day, he decided he'd climb to the top. The other animals laughed. "You're too small," they said. But the dog didn't listen. He began his climb. The rocks were sharp, the path was steep, and the weather was harsh. He stumbled, fell, and almost gave up many times. Yet, each time, he looked up and whispered to himself, "One more step." Days passed, and the dog kept going, step by step. Finally, he reached the top, his tiny paws standing where only eagles had soared. He barked loudly, and the echo traveled through the valley below, reminding everyone, it's not the size of your body, but the strength of your spirit that defines how high you can go. Amir and Zaid were brothers with different dreams. Amir loved books and wanted to see the world, while Zaid preferred working on their family farm. One winter, their family faced a crisis. Their father fell ill, and the crops failed. Amir wanted to go to the city to find work, but Zaid insisted on staying to save the farm. They made a pact. Amir left to earn money, while Zaid stayed to rebuild. Amir worked day and night, sending every penny home. Zaid poured his heart into the farm, finding ways to make it thrive. Years later, Amir returned to find the farm flourishing. Overwhelmed, he hugged Zaid and said, "We couldn't have done this without each other." Zaid smiled. "Together, we turned our struggles into success." Their bond showed that when brothers believe in each other, they can achieve anything. The message: unity creates success. If you agree, drop a heart in comment and like and subscribe. It was the night before the big game, and Luke was staring at his gear, frustrated. "I can't do this," he said, pacing back and forth. "Everyone's expecting me to win, but I'm not ready." His older brother, Matt, looked up from his book and said calmly, "Do you remember the first time you tried to ride a bike? You fell 10 times, but you didn't quit." Luke sighed. "This is different." Matt stood up, handed Luke his old baseball glove, and said, "The only difference is you believe the fear. You've already shown you can fight through it. Don't let doubt win now." Luke was quiet, but something in Matt's words sparked a new fire. The next day, in the middle of the game, Luke pushed past his fear and played with everything he had. And when the final whistle blew, they won. As they walked off the field together, Luke finally understood. Success isn't about being perfect, it's about refusing to quit. And with that, Luke realized, the biggest obstacle isn't the challenge in front of you, it's the doubt within you. Emma and Sam had been best friends since childhood, always supporting each other. One day, Emma hit rock bottom, She'd lost her job and felt like a failure. She sat on her couch, staring at her phone, tears rolling down her face. Sam called, "Get dressed, I'm outside." Reluctantly, Emma opened the door. Sam grinned and said, "We're going on a hike." Emma groaned, but Sam wouldn't take no for an answer. Halfway up the trail, Emma wanted to quit. "I can't do this, Sam, just go without me." But Sam knelt down and said, "Get on my back." "No way," Emma protested. Sam replied, "Friends don't leave friends behind." Laughing through her tears, Emma got on, and Sam carried her part of the way. At the top, Emma looked at the breathtaking view and said, "Thank you, I forgot how beautiful life could be." Sam smiled. "That's what friends are for, to lift you when you can't stand on your own." Remember, sometimes all someone needs is a little lift, literal or emotional, to see the beauty they've been missing.
Bella was skipping home from school when she spotted a wallet lying on the sidewalk. She picked it up and peeked inside. It was filled with cash and a few old photographs. Her first thought was excitement. This could buy her the art supplies she had been saving for. But then she saw a small note inside. "To my precious daughter, from Dad. Always keep this safe." Bella felt a pang in her chest. She knew how much this wallet must mean to someone. Instead of keeping it, she ran to the nearby bakery and asked the owner if they knew whose wallet it was. "That belongs to Mr. Patel, the shopkeeper next door," the baker exclaimed. Bella rushed to return it. Mr. Patel's face lit up with relief and gratitude. "Thank you, dear child," he said, handing her a small bag of cookies. Bella walked home with a warm heart, happier than she would have been with new art supplies. Moral: honesty is always rewarded. If you liked this video, please share and subscribe.
A soldier was sitting in his car in the parking lot of a food market when he noticed a little girl selling apples near the entrance. Moved by her situation, he approached her with a smile and bought a bag of apples. Concerned for her safety, he stayed close by to keep an eye on her. When the little girl sold all her apples, she entered the store. The soldier, curious, followed and watched as she spent all the money she had earned to buy food. Packing the groceries into a large bag, she ran outside toward the town's bridge. Intrigued, the soldier quietly followed. Under the bridge, he discovered a small community of homeless people. The girl entered a military-patterned tent, and the soldier decided to take a closer look. When he opened the tent, he was shocked to find the girl's father inside, a man with only one leg. To the soldier's disbelief, it was his former unit commander, a man he had assumed had died in a brutal battle during the war. Overcome with emotion, the soldier embraced the girl and her father. He brought them to his home, providing warm food, clothes, and shelter. As he prepared a cozy room for them, he turned to his former commander and said with gratitude, "You saved my life in the war, now I will save yours in peace." If you think the soldier did the right thing, drop a heart.
One day, a woman saw 3 men standing outside her house. She asked, "Are you hungry? Would you like to come inside? Is your husband home?" They replied, "He's not here yet." "Then we cannot enter," they said. Later that evening, when her husband returned, she told him about the 3 men. He suggested, "Go and tell them I'm home and invite them to come in." She did so, and the men told her, "We cannot all enter together." Confused, the woman asked, "Why not?" The first man replied, "I am wealth." The second said, "I am luck." The third man said, "I am love." "Now, go back to your husband and ask him which one he wants to invite into the house." She returned to her husband and shared the message. He said, "Invite wealth." The woman replied, "Let's invite luck." But their young son said, "Let's invite love, then our house will be full of love." The couple agreed, and the woman called for the man named Love. To her surprise, the other 2 men began walking toward the house as well. She asked, "I only invited Love. Why are you coming with him?" They answered, "Where there is love, there is always wealth and luck."
One day, a father gave his son a unique challenge: spend an entire day without technology, and savor the simple joys around him. If the son succeeded, he would earn a priceless family heirloom, his father's cherished watch, passed down for generations. Intrigued and eager, the son accepted. He spent the day walking through nature, playing with friends, and swimming in the river, discovering a new kind of happiness away from screens. What the son didn't realize was the challenge held deeper meaning. His father was battling a terminal illness. When the day ended, the son returned, proud of his success, only to find his father had passed away. Beside him lay a note: "My son, treasure life's little moments. Live each day as if it's your last, and you'll never face regret like I did." Overwhelmed with emotion, the son understood the powerful lesson: life moves swiftly, and the simplest moments are the most meaningful. Don't waste them. Live fully.
A young boy was constantly bullied by a rich girl in school. "Your clothes are so ugly," she'd shout, her laughter echoing through the room. The girl, always dressed in the finest clothes her wealthy parents could afford, mocked him relentlessly. "Do you even wash your clothes?" she jeered, making him cry as their classmates joined in the laughter. Years passed, and the boy endured her daily cruelty in silence, never telling his parents. He knew how hard they worked, struggling to make ends meet, and he didn't want to burden them. After graduating, the boy, now a man, thought he'd left those painful memories behind. One day, the girl, now grown, entered a clothing store and tried to pay, but her card was declined. Shocked, she called her father. "What's going on?" she demanded. "We're broke," he admitted tearfully. Forced to get a job, she worked tirelessly for weeks and finally saved enough to shop again. Returning to the store, she smirked when she saw the man behind the counter. "Hey loser, still can't afford decent clothes?" she sneered. The man burst into laughter, dropping to his knees.